So, I want you to picture a master key.
Okay.
But not just any key. This is a key to a door that, well, the building's architect doesn't even know exists.
Right.
The security guards, they walk right past it. Every hour, cameras are pointed the other way, the alarms wired to every other door but this one.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the only person holding that key is someone who definitely shouldn't be in the building.
That's a chilling image.
Mm-hmm.
But in the world of cybersecurity, it's not hypothetical. Not at all. It's the reality of what we call a zero-day scenario.
It sounds like the plot of a heist movie, right? But we're not talking about bank vaults today. Well, not physical ones anyway. We are talking about the unknown unknowns of the digital world.
The blind spots.
Exactly. Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're unpacking a stack of research that focuses on the most dangerous 3 words in software: zero-day exploits.
It's a topic that usually gets buried in, a lot of technical jargon, which is a shame because the mechanism behind it it's just fascinating. It's essentially a high-stakes race against time.
And speaking of the research, I have to give credit where it's due. We are walking through a deep analysis provided by the team at WeCyberYou today.
They do great work.
They do. And this is actually part of their broader educational initiative, so consider this your welcome to the WeCyberYou Unlocked podcast deep dive.
And what I appreciate about this particular set of notes is that it doesn't just, try to scare you. It explains the economy behind the fear.
Right.
Why these things exist and who's buying them.
That's the part I'm excited to get to. The idea that a glitch in your computer is actually a commodity.
It is.
But let's start at the ground floor. Zero day. It's a cool name, very action movie, but what does it actually mean? Is it the day the world ends?
Hopefully not. No. The zero actually refers to time.
Time.
Specifically the time that the good guys, the software developers, the vendors have had to fix a problem.
So if I find a bug in a popular app and I tell the company, hey, your login screen is broken, that's not a 0 day.
Not yet, no. If you tell them they have time to fix it, they have end days, a certain number of days to create a patch.
Okay.
A 0 day implies that the developers have had 0 days to fix the flaw.
Because they don't even know it's there yet.
Exactly.
Right.
But the attacker knows.
That's the terrifying asymmetry. The attacker has a head start.
Everything. That head start is everything. And if you look at the life cycle of an attack, like WeCyberYou lays it out, it usually follows a 5-step pattern. But the real drama happens in the gaps between the steps.
Walk us through that, because I assume step 1 is just the mistake happens.
Right. Step 1 is the vulnerability coming into existence. A developer who's human and tired and, probably drinking too much coffee makes a coding error.
Happens to the best of us.
It does. Maybe it's a memory handling issue or a logic flaw. It's just sitting there in the code like a landmine that hasn't been stepped on yet.
And nobody knows. The company ships the software, millions of people download it.
Correct. Then comes step 2, discovery. But this is the crucial part. It's discovery by the wrong person. An attacker finds the flaw before the vendor, before any security researcher.
So now they have the secret. Do they attack immediately, like smash and grab?
Usually no. And this is where it gets interesting. Step 3 is creating the exploit.
Building the weapon.
Right, building the code to take advantage of the flaw. But smart attackers, especially the state-sponsored ones or big criminal gangs, they don't just rush in. They might sit on a 0 day for months.
Why wait? Wouldn't you want to use it before someone else finds it and the whole thing gets patched?
You do, but you also want to wait for the perfect target. Once you use a 0 day, you risk exposing it. The moment you launch an attack, that's step 4, the critical moment, you are effectively burning your secret weapon.
Because people will see it.
Because as soon as the attack starts, victim systems might log the weird behavior. Security teams might start asking questions.
So step 4 is the attack itself. This is the moment the 0 day timer starts ticking for the victims.
Yes. The victims are hit before a defense exists. There is no patch. There's no update button to click. You are, for all intents and purposes, defenseless against that specific entry method.
That feels incredibly unfair. It's like playing a game of chess where your opponent is allowed to make up a new move that isn't in the rulebook.
That's a great way to put it. And eventually we hit step 5, disclosure.
The secret is out.
Right. The vendor finds out, either because a researcher finally found it or because they saw the wreckage of the attack and they rushed to release a patch. The moment that patch is live, the 0 day status ends.
But the damage is already done in that gap.
The gap is where fortunes are lost and secrets are stolen. And that gap could be huge.
Yeah.
We aren't always talking about days. Sometimes vulnerabilities exist for years before they're discovered.
Years. So my browser could have a hole in it right now that someone is just waiting to use.
It's statistically probable, yes.
Well, that's comforting. But let me play devil's advocate here. We have antivirus software, we have firewalls, we have all these blanky boxes that cost a lot of money. Why don't they stop this? I mean, if a burglar comes into my house, even if they have a key, the motion sensor should still see them, right?
You've just hit on the core problem with traditional security. Most antivirus is what we call signature-based.
Meaning it's looking for a fingerprint, a known criminal.
Right? Or a mugshot? It has a database of known bad files. If a file comes in and looks like the I Love You virus from 20 years ago, the antivirus says, hey, I know you, and blocks it.
Okay.
But a zero-day exploit. It has no mugshot. It's a ghost.
So the antivirus lets it walk right through the front door because it's wearing a disguise it's never seen before.
Effectively, yes. Since there is no official patch or mitigation manual, the security tools essentially shrug. They don't recognize the code as malicious because they've literally never seen it. This is why the WeCyberYou research really emphasizes invisibility. These attacks are designed to look like normal traffic until it's too late.
Which brings us to the so what factor. If these things are so hard to find and so valuable, I'm guessing attackers aren't using them to hack my grandmother's Facebook account.
No. Using a zero-day on a low-value target is a total waste of resources. It's like using a guided missile to kill a mosquito.
Right.
These are saved for high-impact targets.
The sources mention APT's advanced persistent threats.
That's the industry term for spies who get in and stay in.
Oh.
We're talking about nation-state espionage. Governments use these exploits to infiltrate other governments' networks, to monitor communications, steal secrets.
Or corporate espionage.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine you're a pharmaceutical company developing a billion-dollar drug. A competitor or a foreign state could use a zero-day to steal your research. The return on investment for the attacker is massive.
And then there's the supply chain aspect. This is the one that really scares me because of the scale.
It should. A supply chain attack is where you don't hack the target directly. You hack the software they use. So if I can use a zero-day to compromise a software update tool that's used by, say, 5,000 companies.
You've suddenly hacked 5,000 companies with one silver bullet.
Exactly. And because it came through a trusted channel like a software update, nobody suspects a thing.
It's brilliantly evil. But let's pivot to the economy of this. You mentioned return on investment. We usually talk about hackers as, these hoodies in basements doing it for fun or maybe for a political cause. But the research suggests this is a business.
Oh, it is a booming industry. We have to talk about the marketplace of flaws. This is where the WeCyberYou material gets really eye-opening. There's an entire economy built around buying and selling these secret keys.
Who are the buyers and sellers?
Well, you have the white hats, the good guys. Tech companies run bug bounty programs.
Right.
If you find a flaw in, say, an iPhone or Windows, and you report it to the company so they can fix it, they will pay you.
Like a finder's fee. Thanks for saving us.
Yes. And those fees can be substantial, tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But.
And here's the problem. The gray market and a black market pay more.
How much more?
Significantly more. There are brokers, legitimate companies, technically, who buy zero-day exploits from researchers and then sell them to government agencies, law enforcement, for surveillance.
Right.
And then there are underground markets where criminal organizations buy them. We're talking about price tags that can hit the millions.
Millions of dollars for a few lines of code.
If that code can remotely take over a smartphone without the user clicking anything, yes. That is worth millions to an intelligence agency or a high-end cybercriminal gang.
That creates a perverse incentive, doesn't it? If I'm a brilliant hacker, I have a moral choice. I can tell the vendor and get, $50,000 in a T-shirt. Or I can sell it to a broker for $2 million.
That is the dilemma. It monetizes failure. The more complex our software becomes, the more bugs there are. And as long as those bugs can be weaponized for profit, there will be people hunting for them not to fix them, but to sell them.
It effectively turns software flaws into a new kind of digital currency.
A very volatile, high-stakes currency. And remember, the people buying these on the black market aren't just collectors. They're buying ammunition. They're buying the front door access for ransomware attacks.
Right, because once they get in with the zero-day, they can deploy the ransomware that locks up the files. The zero-day is just the battering ram.
Precisely.
Okay, I'm thoroughly sufficiently paranoid now. We have invisible attacks, a marketplace fueling them with millions of dollars, and traditional antivirus that can't see them. This feels like the part of the movie where we realize the monster is unkillable. Is there any good news in the WeCyberYou report? How do we defend against something we can't see?
It's a paradox, right? But it's not hopeless. The defense strategy just has to shift. You stop trying to block the specific attack, and you start trying to block the consequences of the attack.
Okay, unpack that. If I can't stop the burglar from getting in, what do I do?
You make sure that once they're in, they can't move, and they can't steal anything valuable. The first step, paradoxically, is updates.
Wait, I thought we said updates don't exist for 0 days.
They don't initially.
Yeah.
But remember, step 5 of the life cycle. The vendor eventually releases a patch. You have to apply that patch immediately. Because once a 0 day becomes public, every low-level hacker in the world starts trying to use it. If you delay updating by a week, you aren't getting hit by a 0 day anymore. You're getting hit by a known vulnerability that you were just too lazy to fix.
So speed is of the essence, to close the window as soon as the architect finally builds the shutter.
Exactly. But to stop the attack during that 0 day window, you need what's called behavioral security.
We touched on this earlier, the difference between a mugshot and behavior. Give me a concrete example of what that looks like on a computer.
Okay, think about a calculator app on your laptop. Its job is to do math.
Right.
If that calculator app suddenly tries to open a connection to the internet and start encrypting your document folder, that is weird behavior.
A calculator shouldn't be making phone calls.
Exactly. A signature-based antivirus might say, well, the file is named calculator.exe, so it's fine. But a behavior-based system says, I don't care who you are, what you are doing is suspicious, and it kills the process.
So it's looking for the symptoms of the infection rather than the virus itself?
It's the only way to catch a 0 day. You look for anomalies, but there's another layer that's even more important, and it's called least privilege.
I love this concept. It sounds like something a strict parent would invent.
It's basically need to know for computers. Why does your marketing intern have administrative access to the entire server?
They don't need it.
They don't need it. If you restrict access rights, then even if an attacker uses a 0 day to compromise the intern's laptop, they're stuck. They're stuck in the intern's account. They can't get to the core database because the account they hijacked doesn't have the keys.
It's damage containment. You're assuming the breach will happen, so you build blast walls to keep the explosion from taking down the whole building.
Blast walls is a perfect analogy, and network segmentation is the same idea. Don't let your smart toaster to talk to your financial database. Keep your network separate. If the toaster gets hacked, the damage stops at the kitchen.
And I assume multi-factor authentication, MFA, plays a role here too?
Huge role. Even if a 0 day exploit allows an attacker to steal a password, MFA is often a separate channel. It's another stumbling block. It might not stop a sophisticated nation-state actor every time, but it slows them down. It buys you time.
So the takeaway seems to be, you can't trust the wall to keep them out, so you have to booby-trap the inside of the house.
In a way, yes. It's about defense in depth. Layered security. If you rely on just one thing to save you, you will eventually fail. But if you have updates, behavioral monitoring, segmentation, MFA, you become a very hard target. And often, attackers will just move on to someone easier.
You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the guy next to you.
It's sad but true.
You know, as we wrap this up, I keep going back to that idea of the marketplace, the economy of vulnerabilities. It's fascinating that we've built a world where the cracks in the foundation are sometimes worth more than the foundation itself.
It is a provocative thought. We usually think of wealth as owning assets, gold, land, stocks. But in the digital age, owning access is the ultimate asset. A 0 day is essentially a master key to access.
And unlike gold, it's an asset that expires. You have to use it or sell it before the vendor finds it. It's a melting ice cube worth $1 million.
That urgency drives the aggression in the market. It's why we see so much activity. It's not just about hacking. It's about capitalizing on a fleeting opportunity.
It really reframes how you look at that little update available notification on your phone. It's not just a nuisance, is it? It's the finish line of a global race.
It is, so click the button.
Well, on that note, we are going to wrap up this deep dive. I want to say a huge thank you to the team at WeCyberYou for providing the roadmap for today's discussion.
Their breakdown of the life cycle really clarifies things. It takes the mystery out of it.
Absolutely. If you found this useful and you want to understand more about the invisible wars happening on your network, you need to follow the WeCyberYou Unlocked podcast.
And check out WeCyberYou.com. They have a lot more educational content like this that bridges the gap between, The technical jargon and the real-world impact.
Because as we learned today, what you don't know can hurt you. Stay curious, stay updated, and stay safe. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.